Welcome. I decided I wanted to do a trip report. So this is my experience with 20 times salvia extract, and that was the first time I had ever used it, and was also the first time I'd ever actually had to use measurements in the microgram level. So this is also the time when I did 200 micrograms of 20 times salvia extract instead of 20 micrograms. That extra zero is a little tricky, and so I thought, oh, 20, that's 20. That's not how it works, though. So what I experienced was quite insane. After holding in for 20 seconds, and I was starting to release it out, I noticed that the room was suddenly very unfamiliar to me. The room had this fake feeling to it, and just as fast as I had realized that, I snapped right out of that and I was in a chair, pretty much strapped to it, being wheeled up on this wheel, with some person also being wheeled up in front of me. It was someone, and I don't know, they looked really familiar, but they weren't, and I couldn't tell if they were me or someone else, and if so, how old, how young, but pretty much I'm there, I'm all confused, I'm trying to remember who I am, where I've been, and all I know is just feels like I fucked up. And suddenly there's this voice just mocking me. It was saying these things, and I had the understanding that this was forever, that whatever I had just done was me failing something, and now I'm in the forever. And I'm freaked out enough that my body was starting to move, and my trip sitter, who is my brother, he's trying to tell me to calm down or whatever. I heard words, actually. I heard enough that I started to try to comprehend something, and I managed to lift my leg up into the air, which had me fall off the couch since I was leaning forward. But he was telling me to lean back, and I guess that was somehow my brain processed the words lean back and lifted my leg up, so it didn't process it fully, but it seems that deep into this trip, I was still able to, at least at one brief moment, get to reality to do something. And as I was falling, I guess my brother must have grabbed my arm to try to pull me onto the couch, and it just felt as if my arm was bent kind of in a circle. It felt like it got ripped off of me, and then I also got pulled into the circle of space that was now existent between where my arm had been and where my body was now being pulled. And I was thrown into this, tunnel of just, imagine if all of your memories were the walls surrounding you, but were made out of, liquid. And so if you focus on a memory, you can kind of see it forming there, but otherwise it's just in the mess of other memories and kind of overflowing each other and mixing around. It was terrifying, and it was painful. Or later turns out it's because I had fallen off the couch and broken a glass cup. They were trying to get me off of it to get it, but it was a shattered glass, so at certain points they must have rolled me around on it a little bit, and so to me it felt like I was being ripped up in the forever. And then suddenly I'm seeing this tunnel almost, and it looks like I'm floating above the ground, and I can see broken glass on the ground, and I see the floor, and I realize that's the floor. And so I say, I'm like, I remember what the floor means, and it's fuck. And right as I say it, I'm starting to kind of come back to. Everyone's laughing above me. It sounds like, and it looks like I'm downwards and I'm floating, and I'm looking at everything above me, which it's not the case. It was the reverse. But so it looks like I'm downwards looking up at this linoleum sky with gods laughing at me. And I'm coming to slowly enough that soon enough I realize where I am. I get off the floor. As my brother informs me of what I said, because I remember saying something, and now I know what it was, and that's what it was. But that was a crazy trip. And it's a really important lesson where you should really learn how to use a scale. Yeah. That was my trip and the beginning of my beautiful journey in the Salvia. And so, it was really nice today. I like getting this out there, and there's going to be more trip reports coming out.